You know, we've all seen that dream, right? The one where you're making money from your laptop, getting a little piece of that financial freedom by trading. But let's be real, that dream usually comes with a whole lot of fear. I know it did for me. So, this is my story, how I got past that fear and, actually found something that worked.
All right, let's just rip the Band-Aid off with a number that almost made me quit before I even started. 90%. That's how many new traders lose their money. It's a brutal statistic, and it's the harsh reality that pretty much all of us face at the beginning. That's where I was, just staring at that number, wondering if it was even possible to be in the other 10%. So naturally, that leads to the biggest question of all. Why? Why does this happen? I asked myself that over and over again after I almost became one of them. You hear stories, like the one about Sarah, who put in $1,000 and poof, it was gone in a month. I felt that in my bones. I was on that exact same roller coaster, making emotional trades, feeling completely and utterly lost. What I eventually figured out, though, is that the answer is, well, it's surprisingly simple. Failure in trading is actually really predictable, because almost all of us make the same handful of mistakes. It's not that trading is impossible, it's that most of us are walking right into the very same traps without even knowing it. Oh man, looking at this list is like reading my old journal. I was guilty of every single one. The gambling mindset? Yep, check. No real education? I just dove in head first. My trading decisions were driven by pure fear and greed. And risk management? I didn't even know what that phrase meant. One bad trade would just wipe out a whole week of wins. It was a painful cycle. And that's when I had this big aha moment. The problem wasn't me, and it wasn't even trading itself. It was how I was learning to trade. Most courses, they just bury you in complicated jargon and fancy charts right from day one. It's like trying to build a house without ever laying a foundation. You just wind up confused, totally frustrated, and broke. And that's when I hit my turning point. I was so close to giving up for good, and then I found something completely different. This wasn't about some secret formula or becoming a millionaire overnight. It was a total shift in how to even think about trading. And that's what this is all about, the Zero2Trader difference. This slide right here, this is basically my whole transformation in 2 columns. The person on the left, that was me, 100%. Gambling, drowning in information, trading on emotion, and taking crazy risks. The column on the right is where this course led me. It taught me how to stop treating the market like a casino and start thinking like a business owner, focusing on the basics, using logic, and, the most important part, actually managing my risk. Their entire philosophy really comes down to these 6 words: start small, learn fast, trade smart. For me, this was a total revelation. It wasn't about hitting a home run on day one. It was about building a real, repeatable skill and doing it safely so you can actually stick around long enough to see some success. So, what's actually in the course? This is the part that blew me away. It wasn't just a random collection of videos. It was a clear, step-by-step blueprint, a literal roadmap designed to take someone from knowing absolutely nothing to placing their first trade with real confidence.
And here's how they lay it all out. It starts with mindset, which, trust me, is the absolute foundation of everything. Then you learn the market basics, so you can actually understand what people are talking about. Module 3 gives you the tools, simple, effective strategies. 4 is all the practical setup stuff I was so confused by. And then 5 is where you put it all together, practice and application. Everything just builds on the last step. It makes so much sense.
And these are the core ideas that really made it all click for me. It's all in plain English, none of that confusing insider jargon. They are huge on safety, making you practice on demo accounts first. They drill into your head that professional rule of only risking 1 or 2% per trade, which is what stops you from blowing up your account. The strategies are simple and they work. And that lifetime access, knowing I could always go back and review, is a massive stress reliever.
Seriously, if you remember just one thing, let it be this. The entire course is designed to build your confidence in a totally risk-free zone. You get to make all your beginner mistakes with fake money, not your hard-earned cash. So by the time you actually risk a single real dollar, it doesn't feel like a gamble anymore. It feels like a calculated decision you've already practiced a dozen times.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Okay, great, it worked for you, but what about everyone else? Well, it turns out my story isn't so unique. The proof is right there, in the results from other real people who were stuck in the exact same spot I was.
Just take Mike, for example. Lost $800 trying to go it alone. After taking the course, he became consistently profitable. And what was the difference? He finally learned the two things that matter most, the right mindset and proper risk management. That's the foundation so many of us are missing.
Or look at Jennifer's story. She speaks for everyone who's just, well, scared to even start. And I totally get that. But for her, the course made it all feel safe and logical. She built her confidence slowly on a demo account, and now she's trading part-time. It's all about creating that safe on-ramp into this world.
So this brings us to the end here. For me, this wasn't about buying a product. It was about making an investment in my own financial education, choosing a clear path instead of just stumbling around in the dark hoping to get lucky.
And this is the investment, $29. That's it. When I saw that price, I honestly thought it was a typo. I mean, most courses that teach you a tiny fraction of this stuff charge hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars. And this slide really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? The path on the left, that's where I started. It was costing me thousands in lost money and months of pure frustration. The path on the right is a tiny one-time investment for a proven roadmap and a safe place to build a skill that you can have for the rest of your life. For me, the choice was a no-brainer.
And look, if you're still on the fence, they make the decision completely risk-free. There's a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. That's how much they believe in it.
So I'll just leave you with this question. Are you ready to stop treating the market like a casino and start approaching it like a professional? This course gave me the blueprint to do exactly that, and it was hands down the best decision I made on my entire trading journey. The choice is yours.